Welcome to Town Meeting TV. I am pleased to be joined today by Randall Raner. Randy,
yes.
Welcome from the Vermont Agency. Yeah. Let's get right into it. Tell us about who you are and what is the Vermont Agency?
Well, the Vermont Agency is, in a traditional sense, is a financial planning and insurance firm. But we really put ourselves out there as an advocate for people that can't speak for themselves. Our mission is to dramatically impact the lives of others because we feel like we do that through our systems and through our marketing programs. So we're affiliated with National Life of Vermont, which is right in Montpelier. I've been with the firm 36 years. So yeah, we're a collection of financial advisors who get on the same side of the table as our clients.
Cool. Tell us a little bit about you. How did you come to this work?
Well, quite mistakenly, I came here, as we talked before, going to law school and being afraid to go to law school, and at 23 years old, kind of hiding from the world, figuring out where I wanted to go next, what I wanted to do next. And so I told my father I was moving to Vermont to hang out with a friend, and he said, that sounds like a waste of time. So I did that, worked in construction in February of, December of 1989, and in February we broke up the company because of recession and economy, and I didn't have the heart to go home, so I went into the insurance business with a guy named Jim Handy, and it was the only job interview I ever had.
And what's kept you there?
The mission.
Yeah.
I mean, we really do dramatically impact the lives of others. We give people voices to act on their financial plans and to make some sense out of the financial world out there. And at times, I'll say this, and I've said it 100 times, I think in the race to the customer, the financial services business has run the customer over and bombarded them with so much information that it's very difficult to take that information, decipher it, and decide what information really applies to them. So that's when I talked about making this being an advocate and not a transaction, that we're sitting with the client and helping them through that financial jungle and giving them sometimes the vocabulary to express why they're doing this. Why are they solving these financial problems for themselves in the future?
We're here in part to talk a little bit about something called the SAGE Scholars Tuition Rewards Program. Tell me a little bit about that. What is that?
SAGE is an organization out of Philadelphia. They've been around for about 25 years. And they noticed that there was a missing link between colleges and parents. How do you find out where your son or daughter should go to school? How does the school market to children? How do they start a relationship? So SAGE developed a tuition discount program with about 470 schools to help market those discounts to families. And so we've been working with them for about 15 of those 25 years, helping them develop programs that, a SAGE point is attached to a financial services product or an action that somebody can take. So when we found the SAGE program 15 years ago, we were interested in it because college tuition has gone just straight up. So that's who the program is. They're out of Philadelphia, run by a gentleman named Jim Johnston and Mike Hall.
And so talk to me a little bit about that. So this is if folks are buying products through the Vermont Agency, they earn these SAGE rewards points that can be used at 470 colleges.
Right.
What are some of those colleges, or talk?
Well, St. Mike's is one of those colleges.
Yep.
So there's a lot of penetration in the state of Vermont. But if you think about it, like you'll get a tuition or an Amex. Think of your Amex card. You spend money and you get to go shop in their store.
Yep.
You invest with us, whether it's a life insurance policy, an annuity, or an equity account, and you're able to earn points, Sage points, for saving money. So when in every single year that you have your account with us, it multiplies by 5%. So even if the market's down, your Sage account can be up.
And why is this something that you offer to your clients?
Well, it's interesting that about 20 years ago, an interesting demographic shift happened in our country, that we started having kids later. And our kids are starting to go to school right about 10 years before we retire. And so we had two competing liquidity events, retirement and a big bill. I call it the $200,000 toll booth on the way to retirement. You go through that thing and you just go, what happened to my 200 grand? Well, we solve for liquidity events, whether it's retirement, large purchases.
Help people understand what a liquidity event is.
It's a
language thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's a time in your lifetime where you're going to need to rely on your assets.
Yep.
So in retirement, you have to accumulate enough money so you have the liquidity to live in your present lifestyle for the rest of your life. So nobody knows what that equation is. We help people arrive at that equation, okay? A liquidity event can be death. It's the ultimate liquidity event. So do you have enough money to make sure that the things that you promise the people you love are able to happen, even if you're not here to see them happen?
Meaning your funeral is going to be paid for, your kids may have an inheritance.
Any debt, any legacy you want to leave behind, any bequeaths to charity, any of that sort of stuff. And a lot of people, we never die when we plan to.
Yep.
So it's usually a surprise. And if you've made some promises and you're unable to keep those, we help people identify what promises they've made that they still want to be obligated to if they're not here to see them through. So those are some of the products that can be attached to life insurance, annuity contracts, any assets under management that they may have. So yeah, we got involved in it because we understand that there's a huge need out there to help pay for college.
So this is a growing fund, sort of assets, right?
Yes.
Correct. What's the current fund at?
We've accumulated about $570 million of points. Okay, so that's 573 or 5. It depends on the day. We track it every month of tuition discounts that our clients can use. We've used, I think, something like 460 that are earmarked, that are million, that are earmarked for, 48 million that are already earmarked for
you got a lot left.
Discounts. We got a lot
left.
Got a lot left.
And how is that fund established? Where does that money come from in the beginning?
It's not money, it's a discount. So let's say that you have every time you buy an insurance policy, you get $6,000 of points. Those points go into an account, and it's a separate account over at Sage. And Sage monitors those accounts, so there's a direct interface with Sage. And they add points as the financial advisor comes in and says, hey, listen, here's the update. The insurance is still in force. They increase the points. You can also get points for actions. If you go online and you take a couple of our courses, then you'll get Sage points for that. If you attend one of our seminars, you can get Sage points for those as well.
And then if a family their kids end up going to a college that's part of the Sage program, those points get redeemed on the tuition that they would pay.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be your kids either. It's the way that Sage wrote their material is it's a loved one.
Okay.
So you can give it to stepdaughters,
you can do
aunts.
it yourself for higher education.
You're an aunt, you're an uncle. You can give it to your niece or nephew. I mean, so it's for higher education. And Sage also has come out with a program that helps on adult learners as well.
Got it. Interesting. So how many folks do you currently have at the agency that are enrolled in this program?
About 8,300.
And they're actively taking advantage of that, or they have the option to take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
Great.
You can also bequeath those points down to the next generation too, so they don't expire or go away when you do.
Yeah. So these are folks. That's a lot of that's a lot of clients that the Vermont Agency has. That you must have a bank of brokers who are working with folks.
Absolutely.
What are some of the stories that they're hearing from their families that they're working with? I mean, you build relationships with these folks. What are some stories that make a difference?
You know, it's funny because when we initiate a relationship with somebody, they sometimes forget what they bought.
Yeah.
Sure,
Everybody
why
wouldn't
does.
you? Yeah.
Everybody does. And so
how many subscriptions do I have for streaming services, right?
None of us know.
What's my insurance policy?
None of us know. That's why the relationship's important, right?
Yeah.
That's why the relationship with an advisor is important. So they're shocked when we come down and they're selecting schools. And we also have a college planning division called Strategies for College. So we help people do essays, soup to nuts, okay? Help them plan for college, pick a college, find a college, all that sort of stuff. So during that process, they're always shocked and they forget that I've had my investments with you guys for 15 years. My Sage account is up to $200,000, and we say, well, you do know that you can use $48,000 or $50,000 of that spread over 4 years. It's up to 1 year off of college. So you can spread it over 4 years, and it's kind of like getting a $12,000 or $13,000 scholarship that the child never even knew about.
Explain this. So you get these points. You can spread it out over the 4 years.
Yep.
Or spend it down in 1 year.
No, it's always over the 4 years.
Always over the 4 years.
But the max that you can use at any particular college
is for a 1 year.
1 year off, and then the college spreads that out over 4 years.
Yeah. So interesting. And if a family's if the college that their child isn't in, is there a way for them to petition to get new colleges in?
I like the way you're thinking. As a matter of fact, the way that we grew to 475 colleges was people came back to us and said, hey, can St. Mike's be in this thing? Can Champlain College be in this thing? Yeah. And we said, well, yeah, all we need to speak to is the admissions office. And Sage does that. They take care of all that. They know how to onboard colleges. So that's the way it has grown over the years, is a Sage school, a Sage school will come to the table and say, hey, listen, I'll make an offer. And then the parent will go back to the non-Sage school and say, listen, why don't you offer these tuition discounts? So that's how we're growing, in that way.
So your firm is a financial advising firm, but it's a little different than other financial advising firms? Or do other folks do this kind of work as well? College preparatory help, the insurance, the planning for life liquidity events.
I think that's our languaging. That's how we explain what it is that we do.
Okay.
And why we do it, right? Why we do it is to dramatically impact the lives of others. I like to think that over 36 years we're unique in that we approach the market as a marketing firm, not as an insurance company. We happen to do financial services, but we spend the time to figure out where our clients' hearts are coming from and where they really want to have a relationship and how they want to build a relationship with a financial advisor. So I believe we're completely unique in how we approach the market, but I would say that the rest of the financial services business is a lot of math and shopping. Right? It's a lot of math and shopping. It's really how you present the products that you have available to you.
So if you had a chance to talk to other folks, other parents with middle school students or kids that are just being born, what would you tell them about this? And talk to me a little bit. Do you have relationships with VSAC or other kind of college planning?
Because we own our own college planning company. Yeah. We do all the college planning in-house.
Got it.
But we are also able to, if we have the right situation, license independent educational consultants to use our systems and dial into things like Sage as well. So there's simultaneous businesses being run at the agency level.
If you had a chance to talk to new parents, what would you want to tell them about this program?
Well, what I want to tell them first is, is college the right place for your child? The worst experience that can happen is to pick the wrong school and be there for 7 years and not be a doctor. You know, so picking the right school, I think, is the most critical thing, and making sure that you're not picking your school based upon what feels good, that you visit the school, that you understand why you're going there, that they loosely have the curriculum that you want, because the most expensive decision is a 5th year, right? Because that's another $60,000 of commitment.
Yeah.
So I would encourage them to, number one, think about college planning as a process, and to get yourself involved in assessing what the child wants out of a college experience. And then really determine, you know, whether or not your child should be going to college.
Well, I mean, I guess that's my next question. These SAGE reward points are for a university or a college experience.
Right.
Are there other?
We're working on it.
You're working on.
Yeah, we're working on it.
What are you working on?
It's some of the stuff I can't really talk about right now, but it's really trying to address the trade school part of it and the adult learning.
Because there's more and more sort of evidence that says we need more folks going into trades, doing specialized services.
But listen, we also got to be prepared for the trades too, because we haven't, in some cases, prepared young kids to work.
Can't it be both?
18-hour days, you know.
Read your Proust and learn how to be an electrician.
You know, it's funny because I'll have one of my young advisors over to the house, and they'll be helping me, and I'll say, "Can you throw me a Phillips screwdriver?" And he goes, "This one?" I go, "That is not a Phillips." So we haven't really prepared our young kids for these jobs, right? Because when they start working in the electric field, they think they just start and they're an electrician. Well, no. I mean, you've got to spend 4 years. I mean, there's a requirement, and then when you're out there taking care of a job, and somebody says, "No, we're putting in a 14-hour day," and the kid looks at you and says, 14-hour days? Like, what? So we have to do a better job preparing kids for the trades as well. But SAGE, we'll be working on some programs just like that. And adult learning is also a big part of it, because we miss some people. And now we got 24-year-olds that are saying, you know, I'm going back to school. I want to go back and learn something that's tangible. SAGE is building that out as well, and has it available now, actually.
Yeah. Well, that was sort of got into if folks want to learn more about this, how do they find you? What do you recommend they do?
They would get online and contact Hannah Hubscher.
Okay.
At the vermontagency.com.
And she's gonna connect them with somebody to understand this.
Absolutely, either an advisor or someone who can provide additional information about the SAGE program. But that's the best person to call at the agency.
My bonus question, which is sort of left field, is just how is AI affecting the work that you do? Is it a friend, a foe? Who knows what's going to happen next?
If I can tell my silly story about technology, I remember when the banks were getting into the financial business and everyone's going, "Oh my gosh, we're going to lose the customer. We're in competition with the banks." I'm like, all right, let the banks in. Let everybody in. It's going to, the true differentiation is how you approach the market. It's your process for approaching the market. It isn't the product or who has it. It's not. So AI is just like anything else. I mean, you can ask AI to help you solve a problem and get you a straw man or straw woman or whatever, and you can look at that and just say, okay, well, here's the 15 adjustments I want to make, and then plug it back in. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. I'm not, there's some scary things about AI and maybe some scary outcomes that can happen in the job market, but I don't think that should hold us back from really exploring how AI can be a partner. I call it agent intelligence. It's agent intelligence. It's, do you have the agency to use that intelligence in your particular business? And you're not going to have the agency to use it until you really dig down deep and say, how can this help me and be my servant? So it's a little different approach.
Thanks. If there's anything that you want to make sure folks really understand about the Vermont Agency and the SAGE Scholars Rewards Program, now's your time. What's the takeaway?
Well, I just think that, this whole thing about this toll booth that we're going through and these liquidity events and those things happening. I mean, it used to be you had children when you're in your early 20s, and by the time you were, 40 or 38 or whatever, you were done. And 38 was a long way from 65. Now we waited till we're in our 30s to have kids, and now, like after we have that, that mugging, I call it, that toll booth, then we say, all right, I got to get my savings back up and all this. Like, I got to think about myself. Well, I mean, as a financial advisor, if you're not preparing your clients for that $200,000 depletion of their estate, then are you really giving good advice? I mean, you have to really dig into that college planning conversation if you have people that are going to go through that. And that $200,000 is for one kid.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have 3 kids?
And that's an average.
That's an average.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a. By the way, that's a $50,000 average.
Yeah.
And as we know, I don't think there's any schools in Vermont. I mean, you got the most expensive school in the country that's in Vermont.
Yeah. Schools in Vermont that are part of the SAGE program. Can you name a few?
Well, we got St. Mike's,
Yeah.
Champlain. I don't think Middlebury.
We're looking at a person off camera.
Yeah.
Give us. Well, we can.
There's a whole list.
You can look at it online. I'm sure.
You can actually go to sagetuitionrewards.com
Great.
and look at all the schools, and they change. They add every single month.
Got it. Great. 470 to date. But thank you so much, Randy,
Thank
for
you.
joining us and giving us this overview. Thank you all for watching. You can continue to stay tuned here for more great programming, or watch video on demand at Town Meeting TV, youtube.com/Town Meeting TV. Thanks all.